Shares of Coca-Cola are having their worst day in over a decade. Fourth quarter results for Coke were about what Wall Street was expecting. The guidance for 2019 was not, and shares are down 8%. And that, look, we've talked about plenty of other companies that have had worse drops in a single day. This is Coca-Cola. This is sort of the steady blue chip. 8% is I was about to say huge. It's not huge. It is a big drop for this stuff.
For a company that size, definitely, yeah. So I'm going to let the guidance alone. It is what it is, and it's just basically whether what management says agrees with what Wall Street is expecting, and Wall Street is basically guessing what it's going to come, even though many companies do try to massage what those expectations are. But just some of the numbers here on an organic basis, that is taking out the effects of foreign currency translations and a bunch of the refranchising they've been doing with their bottlers. Revenue grew about 5%, a little bit on volume, 1%, and quite a bit, 4% on price increases. So as far as pricing power goes, Coke still has it. So
they do still have it, and we talk from time to time about companies that when they are going over their earnings, sometimes they're trying to massage the numbers in such a way where you're sort of like, oh, come on, that's not really a big deal. In the case of the foreign currency, lest anyone thinks otherwise, because Coca-Cola is as quintessential an American brand as there is, most of their money's coming from outside the U.S., so that's a material thing for them,
right? Yeah, and I like that their operating income was up 7% ex currency. Cash flow from operations came in at $7.3 billion for the full year, $6 billion in free cash flow. Both of those up substantially over the previous year. So from just the numbers, it looks like it's doing pretty good. They're growing. They're gaining market share. Their soft drinks gained 2%, driven a lot by their zero sugar product, Coke Zero Sugar. The only category that was down was the juice, dairy, and plant stuff, down a percentage point. But water, enhanced water, sports drinks up 3%, tea and coffee up a percentage point. So all those are good numbers for Coke. They've been buying things. They just invested $15 million into what is it called? Dirty Lemon Beverages.
Never heard of it, but I like the name.
They have interesting products, more about fitness and beauty drinks. I mean, for instance, they have a product called Collagen, and it's a drink that has collagen in it, and it's meant to be a skin moisturizer, skin revitalizer kind of drink. And so Coca-Cola said, "Okay, we'll take a leap on you," and so they bought just last month they bought a Nigerian juice company that had been founded in 1980 for an undisclosed amount called Chi Limited. And so, they're still expanding, and this is a part of a big trend in big drink. I mean, PepsiCo bought SodaStream last year, right, to get more of their sparkling water stuff. And so, I saw an interesting stat this morning from S&P Global Market Intelligence. They showed the number of mergers and purchases of assets over the years. And back in 2009, there were about 65 for the entire year. Last year, there were 130 plus of these things. And so you get a brand going, you get some sales, and Coke or Pepsi or Dr. Pepper, whatever it's called nowadays.
Dr. Pepper Snapple, is it still that? I don't know.
It used to be, and I think they added another.
They added another one. Yeah.
Anyway, all the big guys are still, just like big beer, going after the small ones, trying to do a lot of their growth.
So you think back to last summer, Coke had a bigger acquisition with Costa Coffee, which is about $5 billion.
About that, yeah.
And it's almost as though. And I don't want to just put this on Wall Street analysts because I don't own shares of Coca-Cola any longer, but I did for a good stretch of time. And it's almost as though shareholders are saying, okay, this is good, but we need to start seeing results. Like if they're going to get material returns out of coffee sales in the UK and Europe, and that's great. But it's almost like we need that sooner rather than later. And
It'll come when it comes. I mean, consumer tastes are changing. Many people, at least here in the States, are going more for the energy drinks and the healthy drinks, and so Coke has gotten away from the sugar. So they're getting double-digit growth in their Coke Zero. So that's good for them.
Do you think at any point they need to consider going the route of Pepsi, where Pepsi owns Frito-Lay?
You mean snacks?
Yeah. Or is that ship sailed? Have they just decided on an institutional level, you know what, we had that chance a long time ago, we decided not to do it. And for a long time it was working for Coca-Cola.
Right.
But over the last 5 years, you'd rather be owning shares of Pepsi than Coke.
As far as Coke goes, I'd rather that they stick to their knitting rather than getting into something like any sort of packaged foods. I mean, Pepsi has a lock on salty snacks. And where's Coke going to go with that? Sweet snacks? I mean, everyone's going away from sweet. Packaged goods, that's having issues, problems of its own. So, yeah,